What is up, everybody? It's Mark 4 Motor coming at you again for number 2 in our video series of our front mount intercooler install. For this part of the install, we're going to be removing our side mount intercooler, which you see in front of you. The one I have in there is aftermarket. It is not OEM, so if you pull yours off, your OEM one's probably going to look a little bit different than mine. So I did replace this a while ago when I first got the car. The OEM one had some damage to it, and I had a bad vacuum leak, so I ended up getting this one. I think this one is also an eBay intercooler as well, and it has actually held up pretty good and done me quite well. I haven't had any issues with it. Alright, so we're going to get started. We're going to pull out our map sensor here. To take this out, it is a 5mm hex head. I'm going to go ahead and release these screws. They pretty much come out by hand at this point. Because these ones are so rusted, I'll be honest with you, I'll probably end up going to the hardware store and buying a nice set of stainless steel screws for this. You can go to Ace or something like that, Ace Hardware, whatever, any kind of hardware store, and you should be able to find these screws no problem. So I think when I put these in, they were brand new, but, you know, Michigan for you. All I did was just rust out. Alright, so we got that out. I'm going to hold on to these screws for right now. I'm going to put them in my pile. Like I said, I will probably go to hardware store and get a new set of those. Now we're going to go ahead and slowly wiggle that sensor out of position. We got the sensor out. There's a little O-ring in there that seals it. We're going to go ahead and take a screwdriver. And we're going to go ahead and remove this wire clip. There you go. Sensor's out. We're going to put this in a safe place, like I said. Alright, so now that we got their map sensor out, we're going to go and remove the bottom backside clamp that holds the intercooler in. You can kind of see it down here. See the band runs right there. We're going to go ahead, get a screwdriver on there, and we're just going to disconnect that. There we go. Now that that clamp is out, there is a mounting hole right here. There's going to be a bolt right here that holds it in. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your 10mm socket, and we're going to go ahead and remove that mounting bolt. Of course, the wheel liner's in the way, and you can only get about a quarter turn on this. Alright, so took me forever to get these two bolts out. There's two here. Two mounting bolts. If it wasn't so cold, I would have just gotten on the ground and kind of gone underneath there and got them out. But the angle of this is, and it's kind of hard getting a socket in there, I'm not going to lie. So I literally just spent like the last 10 minutes fighting getting those two bolts out. So we got our bottom clamp done. We got our two bolts out. We got our map sensor pulled out of the intercooler. Alright, now what we're going to do, we're going to go up top here, and we're going to go right straight down here. I can see the clamp that holds this to this hose. So we're going to go ahead and get that removed. Okay, now that we got the two clamps loosened, we should be able to just start wiggling this thing out of position. We'll get it out of the top. Don't try to break your lights as you're pulling that out. Alright, so as you can see, we got her loose. We pulled it out of the top hose that goes up to the throttle body, and the bottom hose that goes to the pancake pipe that runs alongside the motor. Now my intercooler is completely free. Alright, at this point I'm going to go ahead and remove the turbo inlet hose going into the throttle body here. I'm going to be replacing mine with a silicone one. So I'm going to take this OEM one out. If you're not going to be replacing it, you can go ahead and just leave that attached. because then once we start installing the piping, going back to the turbo, or the piping coming out of the intercooler, you're going to want to reconnect to that. But we're going to go ahead and remove this because I am going to be replacing it. Once you get the clamp loose, you just wiggle it off. A screwdriver helps if it's pretty sealed on there. And then just kind of pull it up and out. We're going to hold on to this clamp because they're always nice to have. And ta-da! That guy's out. And we can go ahead and put this off to the side. That's always something you could keep onto or sell. And we are good to go there. Alright guys, so there you have it. Step 2 in doing our front mount intercooler install, removing the old intercooler. As you can see, I fought with those 2 bolts holding that intercooler in for quite some time there. But that was of my own doing. I didn't want to lay on the floor. It's cold in here. I don't have any cardboard to put down. And it probably would have given me a little better angle to see what I was doing. Plus I was trying to film. So once you get those 10 millimeter bolts out, you undo your hose clamps from the pancake pipe and from the inlet going into the throttle body, and you just kind of got to get in there and tug and pull and push until that thing pops out. Again, be wary of some oil that may come out of that line. Being the older turbo on this, that's where it's coming from. It's nothing to be too alarmed with. It's going to be sucked back into the intake and get burned in the combustion process, and then some just tends to build up in the intercooler. Unfortunately, that's just the way it happens. So thanks for watching the second video in the series of doing our front mount intercooler install. The next time we're going to be working on removing the hot side piping, and then we're going to start running piping as well and kind of test fitting this intercooler to see how everything goes. Right, so thanks for watching guys. So this is Mark IV Modder, and we'll catch you next time.